Live current events this week. Sergio's family restaurant in South Florida is using robots to deliver food to tables. The robot's called Astro, a 3-foot tall robot that can carry up to 20 pounds of food. They're programmed to navigate the restaurant, the dining room, and deliver the food to the correct tables. The robots help free up Sergio's human servers so they can focus on other tasks such as orders and refilling drinks. So, what do we think about this?
20 pounds of food. How many people does that feed? Oh, we're talking about the robot.
Yeah, the robot.
Okay.
I mean, that's 20 pounds is a strong robot.
I really like humans, but I I think it will be helpful for the server if the person isn't happy with their food. Like, you're going to complain to a robot? Excuse me, this is not what I ordered. What do you do?
I mean, if the robot messes up the order, that's a whole different situation.
Right. Who's on quality control?
I mean,
what if you need a side of ranch?
I'm more curious. Like, does the robot follow the person to the table, or does it go by itself?
Do you have a video? Should we go to...
Roll the clip. So what do you think? Is this a win? Is this a loss for humanity?
I don't love it.
Why?
I love humans.
Okay.
Even the weird ones. I love them all. I think that adding robots is getting in the way of human connection. And I think that human beings thrive off of human connection. We're becoming more separated with devices and these things that are supposed to make our life more convenient. But the inconvenience is it's taking away a lot of connection. And this is on the rise, especially since the pandemic, of just separation and divide. And so I don't support it. I'd like to veto this robot and bring us closer together.
Astro, Amanda is not your friend. On the other hand, I think Astro's pretty cool. I heard people were frustrated. And there's a hotel in New York City that was using it as room service delivery. So it literally would pick up the food from the kitchen. It would get itself into the elevator. It would come upstairs. It would walk down the hallway. It would ring your doorbell at your room. You'd open the door, and the little tray would open. You'd grab your food, pull it out, set it up. It certainly takes away the personal aspect, that personal, hospitable touch of a human being. Like, oh, welcome. Great to have you. What are you doing here in the city? Like all those little moments that you get to connect with somebody. That's kind of special when you're traveling. At the same time, though, it's wildly efficient. And so I would be curious if it does mess up an order and take it to the wrong place. And so I'm a little split.
But more than like messing up the order is the magic of surprise. Like if it's someone's birthday, a robot bringing you, even if it's a complete stranger, you don't know who's at your table and you don't know who's at that hotel room, a robot bringing it, like not only does it take away the magic of like a robot bringing it to you, but also the stranger on the other side being able to enjoy that moment of celebration, right? Like it's like a random act of kindness essentially, but it's obviously part of their job, but it's that part, that boost that you get from being a part of that magic. And I think that even in those micro moments, if we just took apart all the pieces that make that special, right? Like how good it feels that that person brought you food when you're starving or tired or hungry, whatever, it's your birthday. Like how good it feels to just be taken care of by like another human, even if it's just part of their job. And instead it's outsourced to a robot. So not only does I think it take away from the person on the receiving end, but also the person on the giving or delivering end, right?
Okay. So this one's a 1 thumbs down.
2.
2 thumbs down. Okay, sorry, Astro. You're out.
The impact of AI on relationship is a complex and evolving issue. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, as the impact will vary depending on the specific relationship, the people involved, and the way that AI is used. That being said, there are some general trends that have been observed. For example, research has shown that AI can be used to improve communication and understanding. AI-powered chatbots can be used to provide companionship and support, and they can be used to help people communicate more effectively For example, a chatbot can be used to remind a couple to talk about their relationship, or it can be used to help them resolve conflicts. Foster intimacy and connection. AI can be used to create personalized experiences that can help people feel more connected to each other. For example, an AI-powered virtual assistant can be used to plan romantic dates or send personalized messages. Oh dear. It can also help people find and connect with others. AI can be used to connect people with others who share their interests or values or experiences. For example, AI-powered dating apps can be used to help people find potential partners, or AI-powered social media platforms can be used to connect people with others who share their same interest. Another thing AI can do is provide companionship and support. Oh boy. AI can be used to provide companionship and support to people who are lonely, that feel isolated. For an example, AI-powered chatbot can be used to talk to people and provide them with emotional support. However, there are some potential risks associated with AI in relationships. AI could be used for manipulation or to exploit people, or it could be used to create unrealistic expectations about relationships. It's important to be aware of these risks and use AI responsibly. Overall, the impact of AI on relationships is still being explored, and there's potential for AI to be used to improve relationships, but there are also some potential risks that need to be considered. It's important to use AI responsibly and to be aware of the potential impact on the relationships and people around us. Here's some statistics on how AI is affecting people in relationships right now. A study by Pew Research Center found that 42% of Americans who believe that AI will have mostly positive impact on their relationships. Another study found that 32% of people have used AI-powered technology to help them in their relationships. And the use of AI-powered chatbots is becoming increasingly popular, with 25% of people saying that they would be willing to talk to a chatbot about their relationship. There is also growing interest to use AI to help people find connections with others. 22% of people are saying that they would be willing to use an AI-powered dating app. These statistics suggest that AI has the potential to play a significant role in our relationships. However, it is important to use AI responsibly and to be aware of the potential risks. So, let's dive into today's chat, all about AI, technology, robotics, and relationships.
So next we're going to move to our top 10 list of the top 10 ways that you can bring AI or robotics or technology to help you bring your relationships closer together. This will be a little bit of fun. So since it's a list on how AI or technology can help us come together, we asked Google Bard to create a list of all the ways it can help bring relationships closer together. Here's what it came up with. Number 1, you can use AI to stay connected. AI-powered communication tools like chatbots and video calling can help you stay in touch with loved ones who are far away. These tools can also help you stay organized and on top of your communication so you don't miss a beat.
So just to clarify, we asked the source AI, what do you bring to the table here? And it said, we'll help you stay connected by staying in touch. So what, like, is AI making the phone call to grandma or mom and dad or your loved ones? Or is it the reminder that your calendar already does? I'm not sold.
Okay, not sold. Number 2, use AI to help you plan activities. AI can help you plan fun and memorable activities for you and your loved ones. For example, you can use AI to find restaurants, book tickets, or plan itineraries on a trip.
Okay, so we did do this actually in South Africa recently. You did it. I found a human. And I remember this, you're like, plan a 5-day itinerary in Cape Town for a family with a 3-year-old, I think, right? Mm-hmm. And it came back with some really good ideas. I am so big. I should try to be more convinced on the AI side, but I'm definitely far leaning towards human interaction. And so I went out and I found other moms in Cape Town on social media and reached out and connected. And it's so beautiful. I had a huge list: indoor activities, outdoor activities, day of the week activities, what types of activities, who is it good for? Is it vegan friendly? Like little things like that. They were all compiled from real humans, moms that know this stuff. And I think that list was way better than the one that AI came up with. But it actually was kind of useful because it may have shared some things, but I loved, and again, I felt so supported by just community and humans from around the world saying, hey, welcome to Cape Town. Check these places out. You'll love it. It's beautiful.
Okay. So I forgot to give it the right prompt. I just had to say, assume you're a mother.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I think humans are winning.
Okay. Number 3, use AI to help you remember important dates. Fellas, this one's for you. AI can help you remember birthdays, anniversaries, and other important dates. This can help you show your loved ones how much you care and how special they are to you.
How? So does your calendar. So does your group text with the other people. Hey, don't forget it's so-and-so's birthday. I'm not sold on this one. How does AI know when your people's special dates are?
So I think there's something cool about this. So I was looking at this from a business perspective. We could actually program AI to activate around a certain trigger. So you can say 2 days before my client's birthday, write them a fun, quirky, from us birthday message. And what's really neat about that is it'll set a reminder, it'll know the date and time, it'll automatically activate ChatGPT, it'll write up something fun and quirky, and then it'll automatically text, email, or message it to them on behalf of the company just by setting up the trigger, and it'll do it for every single client you have.
I want to love that. I remember one time you sent me a really sweet text.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so sweet. And you do write really sweet texts anyway, and you're very much romantic. And I remember thinking, like, I just hadn't had one in a while, and you were really testing out AI. And my first question was like, did AI write this or did you write this? And I think that is such a important thing to consider is, again, how it makes the person feel. And so if something was wrote by AI, then it's not from that person, it's from AI. And like, if that text were like, did you write it or did AI write it? There's very different, because one's coming from your heart and your soul, connecting with my heart and soul, and the other one is with a computer. So I do like the idea of reminders, but I would draw the line at the creation part. If you need ideas, it could be a great idea generation, but I don't think having AI take that idea to the finish line for you and actually doing that is where I see the magic at, because it takes out the heart and soul of it. But
so the flip side of this, though, is for businesses. If you have 1,000 clients, 10,000 clients, 20,000 active clients you're working with, the flip side of this is you make one standard brand happy birthday message that you then send to everybody.
People are already doing that. I think where AI
so this one would at least be customized.
Yeah, this one would be customized, and I do love that, where you can throw in like a picture or some like special thing about them. That I do actually like that. People are already doing generic emails anyway. This actually would give it a little bit more oomph. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Like, we get a video every year on our birthday from our dentist.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome video. We'll put the video in the clip so you can see it.
Hi, it's Dr. Craig of the Spodek Dental Group, and today is your special day, so we are going to sing for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
It's an awesome video. It's a lot of fun. It's got spark and charm and creativity to it, but it's the same video that everyone gets. You get the same video I get, even though our birthdays are months apart. On the reverse side, where this one could literally create a customized message, you could say, search 3 things about this person on their Facebook profile that they recently posted, share something quirky and funny about those posts and them on their birthday. Boom.
Okay, it might get borderline creepy if it's depending on who it is, stalking my Instagram or whatever. I don't know.
You don't want your optometrist being like, notice you were out on safari recently, so you can see those animals even better. We would give you 10% off on your next eye visit.
Yeah,
Happy
it might
birthday.
be too. Yeah.
I think it'd be funny.
But I would give 1 point for this. All right.
Okay. Number 4, use AI to help you find common interest. AI can help you find common interest with your loved ones. This can help you start conversations, build stronger relationships, and create shared memories.
I didn't look through this whole list before. I'm going to cry. Or you can have a conversation. Dear AI, what do me and my husband have in common? We should have tried that. No, just talk to people.
Okay.
You know what? You know what's really beautiful about this? Like, so you could go to AI and you could write, like, give me some prompt questions, or you could support an artist or an author or a coach or a therapist, some small business owner, and you could actually buy their card deck, which has a bunch of beautiful conversation starters to bring people together. We have tons of them. It's so beautiful. We use it together. We love using Esther Perel's.
You could just invite your 3-year-old over.
Yeah. 3-year-olds have a lot of interesting questions, mostly why. So that might get dull. But there's also, we have a couple of card decks that we use to connect with people and learn more about them. So, not sold. I think I'm not sold.
Okay. Number 5, use AI to help you resolve conflicts. AI can help you resolve.
This is brilliant, actually.
AI can help you resolve conflicts in your relationships. For example, you can use AI to help you communicate more effectively, understand each other's perspectives, and find solutions that work for everyone.
I actually was thinking about this. So even because we're humans, at our best, we use our tools and resources. At our worst, when we're exhausted, sleep deprived, stressed, overwhelmed over whatever it is, we sometimes forget our tools.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, like, you know, holding space, active listening, empathetic conversation, soft startups, just tools to not fight and actually find peace and harmony in your relationship and love and not be so triggered. So I actually was thinking about this, and I haven't tested it, but it would be interesting to, like, I almost pray that if someone's not going to find a coach or a therapist or a counselor for their relationship, maybe ask an AI that's specific for that. And like, I don't know if it's BetterHelp or it was something where you could literally text in. And I thought that's so beautiful, because some people are too, I don't know if it's shame or pride or ego or whatever it is, or if it's resources of another nature, time, money, but they don't reach out and ask for help. And I almost wonder if AI, like, don't tell them what to do, but maybe just help shift the focus, right? Like, I'm so upset with this person. This is what's happened. Help me do X. Like, I actually think we should test this and come up with prompts and truly test it and be like, hey, if you're really stuck, like, here are some prompts, because AI is all about giving the right prompt for these scenarios, right? And so then it comes back with not what to say. Well, no, what to say is sometimes helpful, like what you might say versus what AI might say. Hey, try Gottman, for example, has a soft startup. Like, if it could provide a response that's like, you're really upset and you want to, instead of attack your partner over this, you're trying to find a way to build a bridge, right? And so it might say, use a Gottman tool such as a soft startup, and here's how that works, and try this, right? Maybe we'd have to play with it, but again, it's all about the prompt. I think that a lot of people are actually lacking the tools or the skills. And on the flip side, even people that have the tools and the skills sometimes forget them in the moment. So I actually don't think it's an awful idea to, you know, if it's not a good time to text someone and ask, like, your support system or network or friends to maybe give a prompt and it spits back some tips or ideas or whatever.
Okay.
What do you think?
Number 5 sounds like a winner.
I'd test it.
I think the key with that is, you're right. When we're not at our best, when we haven't slept, we're hungry, we're hangry, we're frustrated, we're traveling, we're moving around a lot, things aren't where they normally are in our life, there's always a good chance we're not going to be our best self. And even though we know what to do, we have the right tool, we don't always use the tool. And so the ability to have something prompt us or nudge us, remind us, hey, use this, or remember the steps, or when it worked, what did you do last time? Just ask you the right question at the right time can actually prompt you and get you to do the thing that would be most useful in the moment. I think it's wildly useful for that.
I think we should create that AI.
It's already been created. I have a friend over in Sweden who's been working on it for people.
Brilliant. Okay, cool.
Very
Let's test it out. It's very interesting because sometimes, again, you either forget your tools or you can't text your coach or your therapist at that time and get a response. And
they set theirs up so that when you sync it to your calendar, so when you come out of a big meeting, it automatically texts you when the meeting's over and says, hey, how'd your meeting go? And no matter what you say,
I love it,
it
but
asks you great questions like any coach would do.
Yeah. I wish that were a friend.
So next up, number 6, use AI to help you express your love. AI can help you express your love for your loved ones in new and creative ways. For example, you can use AI to write poems, songs, or even create personalized gifts.
If AI made it, that means you didn't. I'm not usually that black and white in life, but I feel like if AI wrote the poem, you didn't write the poem. AI wrote the poem, and therefore the poem is from AI to you, and it's not from you to me.
So hold on one second. When someone gives you a greeting card that has a poem in it, do you get mad that they didn't write the poem? They bought it from the store and then they signed it?
I love that so much. I think that I am most anticipating seeing their handwriting and like the date and like love mom or like whatever that is. I'm like getting choked up thinking about it. I think that's what makes it the most magical is like their handwriting. Like that's the soul's connection to the thing. I think that the idea of that they went and picked out the card and of thousands of cards, this is the one that like most resonated with them to relay the message or the feeling that they were feeling in that moment to share with you that they maybe couldn't articulate, and this did even better for them. So I see what you're saying there. I just think that there was also sometimes like what I really grasp onto, I'll like kind of skim the card and be like, oh, that's really sweet. But I'm looking for like that message that they wrote. Yeah. Like that's the part, even if it's just happy birthday or I love you, like that's the magic. I'll forget what the card said, but I will not forget them writing it and sharing it with me in their handwriting and like the little message, whether it's a paragraph or it's the, 1 or 2 lines. And that's also, you can see that as a reflection of the cards I give for you. There's usually like, it's filled with like a whole novel in there. And what the card said was cute and sweet and fun, but really it's about like the human element that they wrote. It's a combo.
I wonder if this is what happened when people started buying pre-written cards.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I mean, a time in history where you'd go to the store and you're like, a pre-written card.
That's a really good point.
My gosh.
But it's from a proper poet. It's not from a computer. Let's go back.
It's not even a true expression from your quill.
I think it's a little different.
I think it's the same thing at a different time in history.
But a human wrote that, right? A human wrote that card. They designed that card. The art, the words on it, that was by humans. That wasn't by a computer. Yeah. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, number 7, use AI to help you learn more about each other. AI can help you learn more about each other's interests, hobbies, and experiences. This can help you build deeper connections and appreciate each other more.
I'm going to flip the script on myself right now, and I'm just going to not go with that I think this is baloney and say, yes, AI can help you. What was it? Connect?
Help you learn more about each other.
Learn more about each other. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe. How would AI help you learn about each other? I guess just prompting questions, like 21 things to get to know about each other.
Okay, this is just the same as Google right now then. We could also just Google that.
Okay. Or just buy the book that has the 101 questions you should know about someone before you marry them.
Yeah.
Same thing. 50-50 on that.
Womp.
Number 8, use AI to help you stay healthy and happy. AI can help you stay healthy and happy by tracking your fitness, providing reminders to take medications, offering up tips of how to improve your mental health. So if AI keeps you at your best, then you get to share your best with the ones you love. I like that one. I think we use a ton of trackers. So we use sleep trackers, we use fitness trackers, we use meditation, biofeedback, neurofeedback. Those are all AI driven because it's using algorithms and information that it's gathering from you that then give you suggestions. I think the coolest one was what was her name? Gosh, I can't remember her name. The doctor from Whoop. They were building in female Kristen Holmes. So they were building in cycle tracking for women so that it would use the AI database to track your rhythms and cycles and give you insight on, now is your time to sprint. Now is your time to snuggle up and recoup. Now is your time to rejuvenate. Now is your time to rest. Based on where you're at in your cycle, it's giving you real-time feedback of exactly how to get the most out of this type of experience or this part of the experience of life.
All right, Robbins.
I mean, either that or we just need to stand outside and align the moons.
No, I thought that actually was brilliant. I was very excited when Whoop rolled that out, which was basing what the activity is that you should be aiming for based on the phases of a woman's cycle. I thought actually was really brilliant.
And it's customized. Like, it's literally taking your information real time. I made a joke about the moons, but like otherwise we have to use external data to try to figure out internal challenges or internal situations, versus this is using real-time internal information that your body's pushing out and saying, here's how to customize how you're going about your day-to-day to make sure you're getting the most out of this moment. Because in a moment when you're supposed to be rejuvenating, if you're out sprinting, wondering where the extra gas is, you're going to be frustrated, versus you're like, nah, this is a rejuvenation moment. Use it, maximize it, then slam on the gas.
That's right. So I do like it for that perspective, actually. I think that's really brilliant and great insight. I am going to definitely promote the more we can connect with our bodies and be in touch with them and really listen in is going to serve us so tremendously well. Because when the app breaks or the software is down or whatever, and you're just lost, I think it can serve, but let's not be dependent on it. Sure. I think use it as look at it for what the insights that it shares, but ultimately, if we can really cultivate a deep connection, listening, a trust, an understanding, a connection with our bodies, it would serve us so tremendously well. And I think that there is a lot of tech that it's providing insight, but it's not cultivating connection with our bodies. We're just still treating it like a machine and like, okay, this is what I need you to do, instead of like, what's it really saying? There's true wisdom that our body shares, but we're becoming so disconnected from it. So I think this is great. I would encourage people not to become so dependent on it. And even with myself, like I wear Aura, I wore Whoop, I wore Whoop, and they were great. Fitbit, all of them, and Apple Watch, all of them. And I have to say, regardless of whether I like or dislike, agree or disagree with the data, I'm like, thank you. And what do I feel? What feels real for me? Because it may say, go, charge, you can conquer today. And I still have to listen in. And on the flip side, it may say rest. I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. So I think it's really important that you really listen in for yourself first, and then rely on the data to also give some extra insight, and then choose what really resonates and lead with that.
I'm split on this one. I agree we have to learn how to listen to our internal self. I think the challenge is we're trying to move so fast and do so many things with so much going on in our life that most people's ability to sit quietly for 30 minutes in the morning and just listen to their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, it doesn't exist right now at this time in history.
So this brings up such a great point, actually, because I feel like I shouldn't laugh, but I can't help but chuckle to think that we're like, how do I find happiness? How do I get healthy? How do I manage my stress? And it's, we know all these things, and yet we're still searching for the solution. And the solution is slow down. The solution is eat healthier, move your body. We have the research, and all the studies, And it goes back to the simplest things. So this idea of like, I need more, I need this technology, I need this access to get these answers is like, that's not it. Actually, it's almost like we're doing it backwards when it's the simplest thing that actually brings us more health, more happiness, more love, more peace, right?
So question, we know that, you know that.
Yeah.
What keeps you from doing it?
Keeps me from doing it? Keeps me from doing it? I'm doing pretty good.
You're
Actually,
doing
I've
really good.
recalibrated and I continue to recalibrate. So what keeps me from doing it?
But real life for people.
Oh
Like
my
what
gosh.
keeps people from doing it? You have a toddler that wakes up at 5 a.m. sometimes. We have like all the little things that
It's our
just
culture.
show up in our day,
Yeah.
the way we want to live, how much we're trying to get
Yeah.
done. We have 3 different companies running at the same
Yeah.
time that we're trying to manage all of them at the same time. We have
Yeah.
all these other things in motion.
Yeah.
And so it's that piece. I fight with this all the time where, I think it was 3 mornings ago, you messaged me, you're like, hey, I got to jump on this. Can you handle these calls?
Yeah.
And the first day I was like, no problem. I got your back.
Yeah.
Second day I wrote back, no.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I didn't want to.
Right.
Not because I didn't have the time or skill set to. Because I was starting to violate the space I had created
Yeah.
specifically for this thinking time, meditation, breath work,
Yeah.
all the things that are creating the space for me to hear and listen to what's actually going on and get to that centered place to then go. Now, people like to make fun of that. They're like, whoa, geez. In my world, I don't have the privilege to have that kind of space. And I always say, I said this the other day, I was like, we worked really hard to have that space. In the beginning, I didn't have it. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to find it. But we worked really hard to have that space at a good quality time of the day in the morning. But then it's the behavior of protecting it.
Yeah.
It's
the
someone you love
boundaries.
saying, hey, can you just do this for me? Hey, could you just handle this? Hey, could you take these? Hey, could you just, and at some point going, I'm willing to help out a little bit. At that point, I have to say no, because I've created this space to be able to listen and understand what's going on in my body and navigate it properly.
I think the answer,
And at this stage of life,
Yeah.
that's really hard to do.
yeah, I think the answer that keeps coming up in a lot of conversations I've been having lately, and like even with us, is boundaries.
Yeah.
And working smarter, not harder. And I think that every time we're like, we got to do these things. If you have boundaries in place, first of all, or guardrails, as we call them, of like protecting your life and your sanity and your mental health and well-being and your health and your relationship, you have boundaries and guardrails around that so dang tight, you're going to be forced to work smarter, because this concept of working harder and grind culture will let work seep into every area and minute of your day.
Yeah, especially with the work from home stuff.
Exactly. There's no boundary. It all bleeds into it. It gets into one another. And so if we have really strict boundaries and guardrails to protect the things that matter most to us, and we build our work around it, it's going to force us to work a lot smarter. Even with that, those calls went into a time when I couldn't take them. I asked you, I knew that wasn't a time when you could take them. And you could have said no, and I would have been a little frustrated. But the problem wasn't that you wouldn't take them, and the problem wasn't that it was kind of that I scheduled them at a time when I shouldn't have. The true issue is that I need to figure out a way to consolidate and to really streamline and systematize that workflow. But when we don't do that, we just let it go wherever, and it will find its way into every moment and minute of our life, and eventually start eating away at our relationships and our health and our mental wellness and all of those things. So boundaries and working smarter, not harder. We've really got to think through our processes and try not to do everything. There's a lot to unpack there.
Totally. Number 9, using AI to help you manage your finances. AI can help you manage your finances by tracking your spending, creating budgets, and helping you save. How does this help you connect with people you love?
AI wrote this. It doesn't even make sense. That's my point. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense.
Well, put it this way. I think money's the number one argument in relationships.
Yeah.
So it's people out of alignment. We do a whole process this on the Core 4.
Interesting.
And so I guess if it's saying money is the number one reason why couples argue, or at least that was the old stat of what it used to be, if that's the number one reason couples fight is over finances, then if it helps you budget, it helps you streamline your expenses, it helps you cut down stuff, I know there's AI in the Mint app we use that literally looks at any subscriptions we have, and every couple months reminds us, here's all the things on subscription. Just so you can comb through and go, oh, shoot, why are we still paying that? And comb them out.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really useful as a tool. I guess how it helps with relationships is if it's helping you have better spending habits, better budgets, and better savings, then hopefully it's taking some of the tension out of this area of life.
Okay, what I actually like about this one is, from a relationship standpoint, is when the conversation is, I want to do this, and you're like, I don't think we should, or you want to do this, and I say, I don't think we should. Now it's this way, right? It feels like it's a me against you instead of a third party, whether it's your financial advisor or it's AI, just the third party that helps you see a different perspective. So now we're not arguing with each other. It's this other thing that is not telling us what to do, but it's bringing in insight and perspective. And usually that would be your financial advisor. So I can see the benefit there because it doesn't feel like it's one against the other, but instead you have a third party. I do like this from the perspective of taking something off your plate that you're either not great at or you don't love doing. Going back to why work seeps into everything and we don't have these boundaries or we're not really happy. It's sometimes we're not leading with our strengths and we're not doing the things that we love and trying to find a way to outsource or delegate the rest. So if AI can help, like I was thinking about this, like, gosh, I would love for it to meal prep for me, but even more so grocery shop for me, or like little things. But then
wait a second. It's not allowed to bring the food to the table, but it can cook the food.
If it's something I don't love doing. No, but then even in saying that, I was like, oh, but then I wouldn't see, like, I like seeing familiar faces at the grocery store. I don't always love doing the grocery shopping, but so there are some things, maybe doing the dishes. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So there are some things I don't necessarily love where I'm like, that could be cool. But at the end of the day, I would choose to have people around me all day long. If I had to choose between doing something I didn't love and having AI do it, or doing or doing it with a human, I'm going to choose the human.
Okay. Number 9 might be a winner then. Number 10. Use AI to help you find support. AI can help you find support for your relationships. For example, AI can connect you with other people in similar situations, find resources, get advice, connect you with therapists or counselors or local resources that can help you with your relationship.
I just feel like there's already so many apps that do that. You've got Peanut for moms, Bumble for women, and all sorts of...
Bumble's a dating app.
No, they've rolled out like to make friends and stuff too.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyways, there are tons of apps for that.
Is there like a Tinder friend app too?
So how
just
did
a different kind of friend? So
I'm glad I told you that now. So if you ever saw me on Bumble, you weren't like, what the?
Yeah, what are you doing?
AI, help me. Jarek's really upset because I was on Bumble. What do I do?
Married for 10 years and on Bumble. Like, I like this one. I think, again, it's starting to cross a barrier, but if it can understand certain patterns in your schedule or certain patterns in your search queries or certain patterns in what's going on.
Okay, if AI could optimize my time.
It knows you're starting to hit a point where you've had too much going on, you're a bit overwhelmed, you're not feeling your best self, and it's pulling data, and it's like, hey, you might want to schedule a session to go do yoga, meditation, talk to a therapist. Like it nudges you towards something you might need based on how your sleep quality's dropped, how you haven't gone to the gym as much. Like it's watching your life patterns. Now this is definitely crossing a barrier because this knows a lot of information.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It knows how well you slept. It knows your nutrition. It knows how well your body is handling the stress. It knows all these different things, but it's a real-time indication saying, hey, based on what I'm seeing, you're headed in this direction. Why don't you consider a few of these options that might move you back towards a better version of you?
Okay. So the thing that checks in with you after the meeting, again, I'd prefer that to be a loved one or a friend. But what if there was an app or an AI something where you could have a pulse on how my day went? What's my mental load? Where am I at emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally? And then it takes yours as well. And it can give you a tip based on what I love. It can ask me, Amanda, what do you love? Because sometimes I'll tell you and maybe you don't, it's not immediately ready or available or you remember. And so it kind of is able to like aggregate information from both of you and then just say, hey, this is what Jarek might need today based on what he's input. I don't love it. I don't love it because I would rather just have the conversation. But sometimes if you've had a nutty day, you don't necessarily want to tell me how crazy it was, right? I may want to share with you, but you may not have the emotional capacity. But if we got a little cue or a hint or a tip from something that was like, hey, he'd really love this or that could be kind of nice. It's almost like having like a little angel or fairy godmother around that's just like, hey, by the way, your husband like could really use some words of affirmation today. He had a really rough day. Or like your wife has been slammed by a toddler today and he's just had so many meltdowns. She could really use a hug today because her love language is physical touch. You know what I mean? Like those little things. But again, I don't love it. I'd rather we just know it and we do it and we talk to each other and that's how we build connection. But I think like those little tips or so also we could just remind each other. That's it. We'll just send each other a text. It's been a doozy. I could really use a hug today.
Sounds like AI is starting to win you over.
It's not.
It is.
I'm just trying to find ways to not like it so much.
Okay, that is our top 10 list. What do you think? Leave a comment below this video. We'd love to know, what are your thoughts? Are any of these useful? Which one would you find the most useful? Which one do you find the least useful on this list?
Next up, our how-to section. How can we use AI instead of allowing it to use us? Let's find out. So a specific way you can use AI to better connection with someone you care about. Let's say you're planning a vacation with your family. You want to find a restaurant that everyone will enjoy, but you don't know where to start. You can use AI-powered Restaurant Finder to help you narrow down your options so you find the best one for everyone. The Restaurant Finder can ask you questions about your preferences, such as your budget, dietary restrictions, and the type of food you're looking for. It can then use this information to recommend a list of restaurants that are a good fit for you and your loved ones. Once you've found a few restaurants that you're interested in, you can use the Restaurant Finder to book a table. The Restaurant Finder can also help you find directions to the restaurant itself and get the latest reviews on what people are saying about this place most recently. In addition to helping you find the restaurant, AI can also help you book the tickets for events, plan itineraries, and even find activities that are tailored to your interest. For example, if you're planning a trip to New York City and you can use AI-powered travel planner to help you create an itinerary, the travel planner can ask you about your interests such as museums, food, and shopping. It can then use this information to create a list of activities that you are most likely to enjoy. The travel planner can also help you book tickets for events such as a Broadway show or a concert. It can also help you find the best deals on flights and hotels for your big trip. AI is a powerful tool that can be used to plan fun and memorable activities for you and your loved ones. With a little creativity, you can find many ways to use AI to enhance your relationships. Another specific way you can use AI to better connect with a client in your business. Let's say you're a sales representative for a software company and you're trying to sell a new product to a potential client. You can use AI to help you better understand the client's needs and pain points. For example, you can use AI-powered customer relationship manager software to track the client's interactions with your company. This information can help you identify the client's interests and priorities. You can also use AI-powered predictive analytics to predict your client's future needs. This information can help you tailor your sales pitch to your client's specific needs as well. In addition to understanding the client's needs, you can also use AI to personalize your communication with this client. You can use AI-powered email marketing software to send the client personalized emails with relevant content. You can also use AI-powered chatbots to answer the client's questions and provide support. This can help you build a relationship with the client and make them feel super valued in the process. By using AI to better understand your client's needs and personalize your communication, you can create more meaningful connection with the client and improve your chances of closing the sale. Here are some other specific ways you can use AI to better connect with the client in your business. You can use AI to provide personalized recommendations for products or services. Think Netflix. You can use AI to track customer satisfaction and identify areas for improvement. Think Net Promoter Score. You can use AI to generate customer support tickets and resolve issues quickly. You can use AI chatbots that can quickly answer customer questions and provide support. You can use AI to collect and analyze customer data to improve your marketing overall and the campaigns you use. Overall, by using AI to better understand and connect with your clients, you can create more positive and memorable customer experience. This can lead to increased sales, improved customer loyalty, and a stronger bottom line. So, how are you going to use AI in your business? Now let's talk about a specific way you can use AI to better connect with your community. How can we use it to better connect with the community, online, offline? Here's a few more in-depth examples of how you can use AI to better connect with your community. Let's say you're a member of a community that is trying to raise money for a new park. You can use AI to help you reach out to potential donors and build support for the project. That's a good use. For example, you can use AI-powered social media marketing to target potential donors with relevant content. You can also use AI-powered chatbots to answer questions that provide support to potential donors so they can figure out if it's a good fit for their money or not. You can also use AI to collect and analyze data to identify potential donors and track their engagement with the project over time. This information can help you target your local fundraising efforts more effectively. In addition to raising money, AI can also be used to improve the communication and collaboration within your community. An example of this is you can use AI-powered forums and discussion boards to create more space for the community members to share ideas and connect with each other. It's a great way to use it. You can also use AI-powered event planning tools to help you organize community events and activities. This can help to build a sense of community and foster a sense of belonging among all. By using AI to better connect with your community, you can create more vibrant and engaged community members. This can lead to improved social cohesion and a stronger sense of community identity for each and every person involved. Here are some other specific ways you can use AI to better connect with your community. And number one, you can use AI to help you find and connect with other community members who share similar interests. Number two, you can use AI to identify and solve problems that are important to your community. Number three, you can use AI to create and deliver educational content that is relevant to your community. Number four, you can use AI to stay informed about local events and upcoming happenings. Number five, you can use AI to help you get involved in local government and making better decisions. By using AI to better understand and connect with your community, you can make a positive impact on the lives of the people around you. So, how will you use AI to connect with your community, better your business, or connect with a loved one? I'm interested to hear. Leave it in the comments. Can't wait to see what you have to share. Next up, we're going to be talking about the main images of the week. This will be fun. Let's go ahead and open them up and see what we got. Image number one, Holy Island Causeway and the Chilean ghost town. Thursday's best photo. Here's what we got.
Of the, was that lamb? A sheep?
I think this, I don't even know what's going on here. Is this a prettiest lamb competition? I mean, we just have to give our feedback on this photo. What do we think's going on?
I'd love a farm. Those are my thoughts.
I mean, let's see what's going on here. There's kids in rubber boots. They've got numbers and lab coats on. I'm going to say this
What
is...
country is this?
Holy Island Causeway. Chilean ghost town. It's in Chile.
This is so random.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. You guys have an opinion on this one? Is this like the best looking goat competition? I mean, best looking sheep competition? Fluffiest sheep?
Okay.
This might be a fluffy sheep competition.
Okay.
I mean, my 2 cents, I like sheep.
What's the next one? I want to see the next one.
These kids do look like they're into it. I guess we're all into weird shit. That's my comment for this one. Next up, Kenyan festivities, wintering flamingos, and snacking panda. Wednesday's best photos. We have a snacking panda.
I've never seen anything cuter.
Okay. He looks like he's having a good time with some flowers and a block of cheese or wood. Let's see. August 22nd. Wildfires, waves, and women's blind football. Tuesday's best photos.
That's so sad. I thought that was the Northern Lights, and that's totally the fires. Probably in Canada, maybe. There's been so many fires. Gosh, it makes a beautiful photo, but it's really sad, too.
I don't know how to react to that. I thought it was the Northern Lights.
I didn't know what it was. I just saw the sky.
It is pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, the purples and the pinks.
And we have friends that are going to see the Northern Lights right now, so it was top of mind.
Yeah. It's a pretty picture. Not cool that it's a fire, but it's very pretty. Let's see. August 21st, World Laziness Day and the T-Rex race.
I love that. I want to do that. Where is that at? Let's go.
The T-Rex
I want to do that.
race.
It just got added to my bucket list. My live it list.
I'm down with this one. I feel like I could win as a T-Rex.
Amazing.
Let's see. August 20th, cardboard boat races and the rite of passage, the weekend's best photos. Ooh, I love this photo.
Wow, that's really beautiful.
I'm a huge fan of this. It looks like a tribe over in probably East Africa. It's beautiful. There's something inside of me that loves tradition. So I love traditional elements of different cultures. And so this photo to me, it kind of brings you into a moment of tradition with this tribe. I don't know what's going on. We've got spears, we've got headdresses, we've got traditional clothing, but it's bringing you into a moment. I think it's one of my favorite things about traveling around the world is allowing a different culture to bring you into a moment and have an experience, a taste, a nibble, a moment, a brief little feeling of their culture. And it's different than ours. We don't do that. I never did this growing up. I don't even know what's going on here, but to step into someone else's culture, to get to experience the richness of how they do it and see life to a totally different lens, I think is one of the coolest things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love this photo because it feels like it's bringing us into a moment of life for this group's community.
Mm-hmm. Where is that one at? Does it say?
It doesn't say.
It says cardboard races, and then it shows that photo. It's beautiful.
Okay, last photo. I think this cat lives on a boat.
What?
It's a boat cat in a
This
hammock.
is why I love seeing the world. This is why I love traveling, because you see the most random stuff.
I think the cat's in a hammock on a boat.
And a picture just makes me so excited to go travel, because I'm like, where is that happening and what's going on there? And like to see these things in real life is next level. You can look at a picture all day long, but seeing it in real life and you capturing that photo is my favorite thing about life and travel.
I just want to know where you get a cat hammock.
Anywhere, probably. Amazon nowadays.
It's a cat on a cruise in a hammock. I mean, this cat's living life.
I love how easily entertained you are.
Do they have dog hammocks?
Are we getting a dog?
I just want to know where you get animal hammocks.
I think I just heard we're getting a dog.
Nope. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to go through some quotes for this week and just share some ones that really stuck out. Ooh, here's one. Going back to AI technology, computers, before you marry a person, you should have them use a computer with slow internet service to see who they really are. Brought to you by Will Ferrell. How do you feel about this?
I completely agree. And to add to that, on the theme of AI, you should also, before you marry a person, you should take away AI from them and make sure that they're actually really sending those romantic texts and love letters and everything. Yeah. See who they really are without AI.
Okay. I like this one. I think there's deep truth. If you take someone on a trip, travel, you get to see them under the best conditions, the worst conditions. And the truth is, it's not about observing who they are. It's about finding out, are you compatible going through challenging times? Do you have the ability to communicate? Do you have the ability to empathize? Do you have the ability to nurture each other and care for each other and have each other's back and support each other in all the moments when things aren't going your way? Because inevitably in life, in our relationships, shit's going to happen. Period. Doesn't matter who you are, where you've been. In these last few weeks and months, I've seen people take millions, tens of millions of dollars and turn it into nothing and be living in a motel with their, children and spouse. And they were multimillionaires months ago, and now they've got nothing. And if you can't communicate, if you can't have each other's back, if you can't be supportive, if you can't hear each other out, if you can't find a way to still find love and joy and humor and laughter and silliness in that, you're screwed. Because if you can only do it when things are great, that's awesome. Yeah. But the real beauty of life is navigating through it. When things aren't going your way, how do you respond to each other? How do you get through it together? I think it's such an important thing to see people not at their best together. So that way when they are at their best, they get to enjoy the hell out of how great it is and have the contrast of the times when it wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was one really beautiful thing about when we met. You had lived in Africa before and I had lived in Asia, and we both had stayed in very rural, simple conditions. And knowing that, like, someone can say they've done that, but then actually to kind of go to that place and revisit that place with them, you also get to see how they show up and how they react. So it's beautiful because as we've traveled, because we've had those experiences, we already knew, like, you can hang. Like, this isn't totally out of your comfort zone, or like you've done this before. And then when you're in that situation again, you get to see how they really show up. And it's a really beautiful thing. I think that it gives us the confidence in ourselves of what we're capable of, and also a trust in knowing this, that I don't just love you under these conditions, but like even in the craziest situation, in different parts of the world or through natural disasters or anything, that we're going to be there for each other, and we're in it together, and we're a team, and we're not just like, what is this? And this isn't working, and freak out on each other. We're in this together. We're rowing in the same direction. And that love is is definitely the foundation of our relationship, not things going perfectly or this, perfect conditions and scenario and everything like that. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Quote number 2, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there's any reaction, both are transformed. Carl Jung.
I was laughing because the Yoon part.
Young?
I think it's Yoon. Yoon?
Carl Jung.
Yoon.
Definitely
okay, leave
Carl
a comment. Maybe we're not pronouncing it right.
Is it Carl Jung or Carl Jung?
Jung.
So tell us in the comments. Which
Jung.
one is it? I think it's Carl Jung.
I love this one so much. It's absolutely true. If there's a reaction, you're forever changed.
I think so. I think it's the tapestry of life. One of my very good friends went hiking one time up in the mountains in Tibet, and at the end of her trip of hiking, she was talking to the Sherpa who had gone with her guide who had taken her through this. And at the end, she was crying, and he's like, "Why are you crying?" And she's like, "I'm going to miss this place. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss the mountains. I'm going to miss the views. I'm going to miss the magic of this place." And he was like, "Oh, life is like the mist. Once it soaks into you, it's always part of who you are. You can call it back at any moment." And I think it's the same when two people interact with each other, that chemical reaction, those moments, those memories, those interactions, it creates the most beautiful transformation, if you let it, of who we are, of how we interact with each other, of all these moments and pieces of how we come together. And some of us carry, bad stuff that happened. Some of us carry great stuff that happened, but it's all stuff that happened along the way. And then the beautiful part is what we choose to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the most powerful things I heard is someone was saying, the only difference between a hero and a villain, both have a backstory where something horrible happened to them.
Yes.
One of them made a decision that said, because this happened to me, I'll never let it happen to anyone else.
Yes.
And the other one made a decision, because this happened to me, everyone else is going to pay the price.
Yeah.
Same situation, totally different decision. So I think this chemistry of, as we're transformed of the interaction of different human beings that we cross paths with, our choice of what to do with it is the most powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. Technology is not a substitute for human connection.
Did I write that?
No, that was Sherry Turkle, the author and researcher.
I could have wrote that as well. I agree.
I agree. I think there's something really special with human connection that can't be replaced by technology. I think there's so many ways that technology can support us, from asking us how our day was to helping us think through special moments or think through challenging times. It can ask us the right things at the right time. It can poke us and remind us to go do the right things at the right time. But I think there's something so special about human to human connection that doesn't exist from technology to human connection.
I'm just thinking too of like, a lot of times when I think of like what humans are doing and how kooky we are with technology, I look at what other animals are doing. Like, think of elephants and how they're not using technology to find water. They can sense it in the ground to find, like, know that a storm is on its way or something like that, right? How they just all coexist and form this matriarchy. It's so beautiful. And they're not using technology. It's so incredible. And like when we were in the safari, it was so beautiful to just see how different animals survive and thrive without anything. And we're becoming so dependent on it in a way that it's like, what are we doing? Again, going back to that, finding connection with ourselves, finding connection with the world, the earth, the nature. I think that, gosh, as much as we're pushing towards technology, I hope that there's this swing to also grounding ourselves in nature too and reconnecting there.
Okay. Next is, the quality of our relationships depends on the quality of our attention.
Oh. Did I just say that in another way? Yeah, I think that is very true. Oh my goodness, I love this so much because I'm seeing this with Koa, for example. Like if I'm just coming from finishing some work things and I'm on my phone, he'll say, "Put your phone down, please." And I'm like, whew, he is calling me to be present with him. And that is the most nourishing way for his soul to connect with mine and to really feel love and deep connection there, is to be present. And so, yes, if we can put this stuff aside and really be present, it is so powerful for our love and relationship. So I couldn't agree more. There's been times where, I think like we can just tell, like sitting next to each other, even if we're not looking at each other, or, we can tell, we can sense when someone is like on their phone. There's just a different level of presence there and connection. You can feel it without even seeing it. And I think that I couldn't agree more. We have to really be more present and have technology be a less part of our relationships.
I think this one speaks to me. The quality of our relationships depends on the quality of our attention. And I think it goes beyond technology. I remember we were taking a walk earlier this week on our date day. And at some point I just thought, and I was like, I feel like you're not here. Like you're physically here, but you're not, like you're thinking about something else. So I tried to probe a little, like, what are you thinking about? What are you up to? And you're like, nothing, I'm here, we're fine. And then I finally just was like, okay, I just have to say it out loud. I feel like you're physically present, but I feel like mentally you're like 20 miles away. Where are you? And you stopped. You're like, what are you talking about? I'm totally here. And then you took a breath, and then all of a sudden you were present. And I don't know where you were before that moment.
Oh,
I'm not calling you out. I'm not blaming. I'm just,
where I was.
it's the process of realizing this person isn't here. And the ability to call them the presence.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, here, now.
Yeah.
We are here now. Come here. Come into this moment. Be here with me.
You're right. It had nothing to do with technology. Actually, it had nothing to do with work, because sometimes people's heads are just somewhere. I was so dang hot. All I could think about was how humid it was. And I was like, roasting, and I'm not even walking fast. I'm like sweating. It's so humid and hot in Puerto Rico, and it's so beautiful, and I love it. But woo, I was so hot, and I was just thinking like, oh, that's where I was. I was just uncomfortable, but it was so beautiful because you just called it out, and I took a deep breath and I just let it go. Okay, so what? You're hot, and it's muggy, and you're sticky, but be here. Like, he wants to connect with you right here. Meet him where he's at, in your mind, body, and soul. Be with him, not fussing about the weather. Yeah, that's so true. We can tell.
It's true. Let's see. Technology can be a great tool for connecting with people, but it's important to remember that it's not a replacement for real-world interaction. That was Gary Vaynerchuk. It wasn't you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like it's kind of the theme of what I've been saying, right? What are your thoughts?
I'll tell Gary you let him have that quote ahead of time. Just gave him a layup before you thought of it.
So yeah, I think the idea there is that it is great for connection. So let's not undermine that it does help us. It can serve us, but it is not a replacement for real life, in-person, face-to-face, and really going deep with someone and really building a really strong relationship. That's it. It can serve, but it's not a replacement.
I think what's powerful is at the time of this recording, technology can help serve us in what we're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. I think the fear, because I asked people online, which we have a couple questions we have to go back and answer, but I asked people online, what's the fear around it? And as you notice, one of the questions that popped up was, is technology going to take over and make us work for it? Which sounds crazy right now, but I've seen Terminator.
Yeah.
I've seen the movies
I think that's why
it
people
takes
get so
over.
scared.
It could.
Yeah, fear-mongering is so real.
Yeah, I'm not fear-mongering. It's just a genuine concern of, like, have we accidentally created something that becomes more intelligent, more, gets to the conclusions faster, is able to do stuff more efficiently than we are, and can even catch on to when we're trying to do it and cut us off and maneuver around it.
So this is
where
like, ethics intersects with technology and AI. And we have to speak up. If you're working at a company that is in tech, that I'll just say tech as an umbrella, and there is unethical stuff going on where you see where this could go wrong, to stand up and to say something about it and to speak out, because doing nothing over fear of losing your job, over fear of this or that, we have to protect humanity instead of sitting on the sidelines and watching evil things happen, right? Or like just being really playing defense against humanity to protect us, right? As a whole, instead of just focusing on like bigger, better, faster, stronger than competition. And you know what I mean?
I think this one's really interesting. I don't know. I have to go back and reread the article. I think there was an article about the guy who started one of these AI companies carries a backpack with him at all times, and the backpack has a kill switch that can shut the whole thing down. And so at all times, the founder has a backpack with a little whatever switch, trigger, whatever system it is, so that if it does start to go off path and it does start to do something, it's a genuine fear of even the people who've created it. If it genuinely starts to take over and do something crazy, he can hit a kill switch and shut the whole thing down. It's interesting. Let's see. Last couple. The best way to stay connected is to disconnect.
Preach. Yes. Cal Newport, funny enough, he's not even on social media. He's like a big time against social media, and he's the one that wrote Deep Work.
Yep.
And I think this is so true internally and externally, to connect with yourself, disconnect from everything, and to connect with others, disconnect from these sometimes, and finding ways to connect by disconnecting from tech. Yep. Again, it can help you connect, but it's not a replacement for real life connection. So I think that's where we really have to dance with that, connecting through disconnecting, and what exactly that means for you and how it best serves.
Totally. I think one of my favorite things I found, one of my clients was asking me, he's like, do you know of an application where I could put the mail folder on my phone into it over the weekend so it just disconnects me from emails from work? I was like, actually, I don't. And I was trying to see if you can get one made. And then I found out in the iPhone at least, there's actually a feature you can go into that tells you how many hours or minutes you spent on the app, and you can set certain apps that have a limit. You can also set certain days and times where it just cuts off all the apps. And it's one of my favorite features I found this last couple weeks where I set it until I think it's 9 a.m. is when they open. And then at 8 p.m. or 7:30 p.m., they all lock.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you can still get in there if you have to or want to for some reason. But it's just a reminder. It puts up a little tiny mini barrier that when you're about to do it, you go, oh, yeah, never mind.
And then you can see how programmed your thumb is to going and doing that. That's what's really trippy.
But it's setting up in a way that allows you to disconnect. It allows you to just set it aside and go, I'll be fine without it. Yeah. And the truth is, it was one of my favorite things about taking a cruise around the world for 3 months. It was one of my favorite things living in Africa in the middle of a village with no running water or electricity or anything like that, is when you completely disconnect from all the chaos of society, you come back 3 months or 6 months or 12 months later, you realize nothing changed. Yeah. People are still consumed with the same stuff, complaining about the same stuff, trying to get the same stuff. It's just a giant mechanism of the sameness, and nothing really evolved. But you evolved.
Yes,
when you disconnect. You learn new things. You experience new things. You have all the new memories. You have all the special things that happen. It's like your life became 10 times richer in those moments, but nothing changed in society. Society was the same hamster wheel, the same stuff just going over and over and over again.
I remember, so this reminds me of when I was living in Asia. I was there for 3 years, and I remember coming back after the first year and going to a comedy club with some friends in Chicago. And they held up this picture of this person with a shaved head. And I was like, who is that? And my friend who used to be my college roommate, she goes, that's Britney Spears. You didn't hear? How do you not know that's Britney Spears? I'm like, Britney Spears, she has long blonde hair. No, she totally went through this mental breakdown and shaved her hair off and all this stuff. And I was like, so that's what I missed? I was gone for a year. That's what I missed. That's what everyone's and everyone was obsessed with it. Meanwhile, I had completely transformed. Life overseas will do that to you. Throwing yourself in another country with a totally different culture, Eastern world, Western world, totally different. And I came back thinking oh my gosh, I must have missed so much. But even though I loved it, I wouldn't take that back in a second. But I thought what did I miss? That's what I missed. It's crazy. It's a beautiful thing to disconnect. You won't miss much, but you will change. That's right.
Final one. Technology can be a distraction, but it can also be a way to connect with people in new and meaningful ways. Brene Brown.
Oh, I wasn't really expecting that from her.
I like this one. I think there's truth in it where because of traveling a ton, which is a big part of our life, we have friends in lots of places. I mean, we have clients in 128 countries around the world. We have friends all over the place. And the ability to hop on, create something like this, and instantly drop it into all their news feeds or all their emails or all their platforms where they can come and connect with us. They can watch us chat about silly stuff. They can send us feedback. They can send us instant messages. I think there's beauty in that, where I can be chatting with someone in Sri Lanka about how their business is going. I can then hop over to Dubai or Kuwait and see what's going on there and help them with a few insights, then talk about someone in Canada and their relationship and help them tighten that up. Swing over to the Dominican Republic and help someone with their business again. Swing down over to Brazil and help someone, iron out a relationship issue. Swing over to Panama, help them with some business. Swing back over to Dubai. It's incredible that you can literally just hop from call to call and work all the way around the world with people and all different stuff. The neat part is everyone's generally working on pretty much the same stuff. We call it the core four. So they're either trying to get healthy, or they're trying to have better relationships, or they're trying to be more productive and have a better business, or they're trying to figure out their wealth and money. So it's generally the same patterns of what we help people with all over the world, but it's fun knowing that people all over the world can be connected instantaneously through the technology that exists.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I love it. I think that the idea of ways to connect with people in new and meaningful ways, I think the key word there for me is meaningful. How can you make it meaningful?
Okay. We have a couple questions that came in. Let me find them real quick. And then we have to give our final thoughts on is AI technology a helpful tool with relationships or not helpful tool?
Hey, Jarek and Amanda. I hope you guys are amazing. Love to ask you a question. How do you feel that we can integrate AI and chatbots to better enhance our customer relationships?
How do we use AI or chatbots to better enhance our customer relationships in the aftermarket?
The thing that I'm loving right now when it comes to relationships and business and AI and tech is taking people off of social media and putting them in your email list, because then you can have a more intimate conversation with them. You can connect with them easier, faster. You're not, what's the word? You're not like I don't want to say victim, but you're not dealing with the algorithms that social media will put you in with everyone else. So like if you put something of value that really means something that can really serve your customers, your prospects, only 10% of your entire followers, your audience are seeing that content. So when you can post something and say, hey, DM me to learn more, and then scoop them off of there and put them in your email list, I think that's such a value add for business owners right now, because you own your email list. You're not subject to an algorithm, and you can have more direct conversations with them. You can email them whenever you want. Obviously, you want to be thoughtful and intentional about what messages you're sending them and be mindful, right? And always be serving them. But I think that's what I'm loving right now, is really a way to say, hey, I want more of what you share without this noise. Let's go over here and have a conversation together directly, right? Instead of on social media with all the noise and drama.
Lots and lots of people who ask different questions. What's a fun one? I like this one. Is AI another scam we have around since 2019? Honestly, for me, it's an upgrade from Google so far. Graphics are good, but written things are not for serious people. It is good for heartless marketing campaigns and quick edits, but not for expressing your real self.
I think that's so true. I think there's a lot of truth in that. And also the idea, like, is it a scam? I think it's one of those things where it may feel trendy and a lot of people are like, I hope it goes away. It will go away. I would say, assume it's not going to go away and figure out in what areas of your life that you can adapt to it or benefit from it, but not be dependent on it, but use it. Like, think of it as like a shovel, right? You don't want to, you may not love shoveling, but like sometimes a shovel is really handy. You may, or like salt on your food. Like, this sounds so silly, but like you don't want to throw a ton of salt on it. Like that would make the meal awful, but like a little bit here and there, and seeing how it can be useful in whatever areas of your life. But I think to run from it and hide from it and avoid it probably won't serve you. I think that you want to figure out, like, this is a part of our world now. So what's it up to? What can you learn from it? How can it maybe give you a little boost in some areas of life? But I think trying to avoid it is just, it's going to make life harder in some ways. It's just what people are talking about, what they're using. So I don't think necessarily this is like an ignorance is bliss kind of thing. Like, be aware of what's going on. So, you can stay current with it, but not be dependent on it. Don't be dependent on it, but see, like, could it make your life a little bit easier in some ways? And if not, leave it alone and forget about it. But I wouldn't worry about it taking your job. I'd worry about how can this help you with your job? Because whether you're an employer or an owner, people are using it. So to ignore it and avoid it is kind of like being like, I don't need a website. It's like, well, just because there was a .com boom and that got really big, it's like they're still necessary, right? It's a part of our life now. What are your thoughts?
I think it's how you choose to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, is it going to take over the creative space? No. Can it help you get more done? Totally. We were talking about this before that we started filming. The concept of, a friend of ours used to have team members who'd watch hundreds of hours of footage every single week trying to find the perfect 60-second clips for him. And now he can literally upload that to the AI, and the AI faster and more efficiently finds better clips to use. Now, does that mean that person's out of a job? No. Now they can get 5 times more done, where it's like you can produce 5 times the amount of content that used to be able to produce 1 a day. Now you can produce 5 a day because you have a tool that can do the heavy lifting for you. And for most creatives, that's not the part they love. They don't love sitting there watching 20 hours of content trying to find 60 seconds. What you love is once you find the 60 seconds, doing something special with it.
Yeah.
Now you're going to make the flare happen. Now you're going to make it pop. Now you're going to add in the cool transitions. Now you're going to make it something really useful and fun.
Yeah.
But finding it was truly a pain in the butt for most people.
Yeah.
And so the ability to use that tool to help search the 60 seconds, find the right clip, and then let it, into your studio where you can make all the then magic happen around it.
Yeah.
I think that's a useful tool. It's like the equivalent of, us spending 6 months trying to use our intuition to find water versus learning how to use sonar and being like, oh no, it's right over there.
Yeah. I think one thing I heard Tatiana saying before we started this was, as a photographer, videographer, like when, a bride is walking down the aisle and she sees like this like kind of inside joke or this little thing that the bride or the father or groom or whoever, there's just like something that's happening there that she knows about, but AI would never know about. So even when it comes to editing, like if it's going to speed up your workflows, which is really handy sometimes, she's still going to know, but you miss that little wink or you miss that little gesture and she knows to look for that because there is that personal connection. It's not going to replace us because there is a soul element of us that exists in all of us and how we're connected that AI will never replace. And whether it's art or whatever it is, even if AI comes up with something cool, it's the art that came from a person's soul that was created that is going to always speak to us. It's our language.
I like it. Okay, final thoughts. Is AI a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it can be a helpful thing, and we need to be very mindful on the ethics around it and having limits and the right people in places. I think it can really serve. It's probably going to help us in a lot of ways to speed up some things and research and workflows, and I think it can really help. But if we don't have any guardrails, if we don't have limits and ethics as a part of this, of watching it, it could be really bad, without a doubt. I'm not going to I'm going to choose to focus on the positive side of it. I'm going to say that let's not forget to connect with the human element in all of us and stay really focused on that, and then create boundaries around making sure that AI doesn't get too out of control. I think that's really important. Even people at the very top of like this, the behind this, like, right, really running, I've even said we need to pump the brakes on this. This could really like take off in a bad way. So I think that it's important to be very mindful, and again, boundaries and guardrails and ethics are all very important in this before it becomes some big, hairy, ugly monster. Is it good or it's bad? I don't know.
I think at this stage, in my opinion, it's still a tool.
Yeah.
So it depends on who's using it and how they're using it.
That's right.
And I think that's up to you. If you're using AI in your life or business, how you use it, what's your intention when you put it to work for you, what you choose to ask it to do, kind of determines if it's good or bad in your life. It's more based on the human that's using it versus what it can do. It can do just about anything, which is pretty fantastic. It's the concept of what are you choosing to make it do for you, and are you choosing to make it do things that enhance, your life and the world and your business and everything that goes on? Or are you choosing to create things and use things to make it destructive and tear down and make things worse for life and earth and people? It's up to you. How are you going to choose to use it?